your notifications, it should say cultural dialogue with Celimpilo and Nadira.
Okay. But it's saying drag photos. It doesn't say live. I will wait for you to
Okay.
start.
Yeah.
I have questions for Celimpilo. Did I not say it correctly? Celimpilo.
That's
Some,
correct.
yeah, I've been trying. I've been,
Oh wow.
and I've been wondering, are we on live yet?
Yeah, just check your.
Okay, hold on, because let's see. All right, I'm not getting anything from my. I guess I have to go on the phone. Let's see. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. From my. How do I join? Okay. Request to join. All right, I'm getting off the computer. So this isn't
Okay.
work. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
No,
Yo, you know what? Yeah, I think Zoom did trust me a little bit there.
sorry. Sometimes technology can be a huge impetus, when it's supposed to help life, make life easier, and sometimes it just doesn't do that.
I just read that I hardly host a meeting. Right there, what's happening in terms of settings?
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Should I introduce
Yeah,
myself?
yeah. You just
Okay, so my name is Nadira, and I am African American from the United States. I am uh, uh this is a question I have for you because I'm very light. I'm very, very light. So I don't know, like in America, I'm as black as you are, but I've heard in South Africa I may be considered colored. Is that right? Am I?
yeah.
What? What? So is colored like biracial?
Although we do have colored people that have like a really dark skin. So
So what's a colored then? I don't know because here I'm African American.
so if you were to go to South Africa, you will be considered black.
Oh, then fine. That's a good thing.
You know,
Well, you guys, I would not want to be considered anything else but black.
yeah.
That's it.
Not just saying that I remember you remember posted I think you were in Mali or was it Gambia?
uh, if it was last year, it was Gambia and Senegal.
Okay, and then I think there was one of the countries that was using the proverb that says no matter how long the stick
Oh yeah,
crocodile. Yeah.
and I'm thinking in French, but it's a stick in the river will never become a crocodile. That's the proverb, the Mandinka proverb.
Oh, that's Mali, right?
Well, it's the Mali Empire wasn't just the country of Mali. The empire expanded from the Gambia all the way to Burkina Faso and down to like the Ivory Coast. So it's the whole region. Well, almost. I don't know about the whole region, but yeah. So you can speak. It has multiple names too: Jula, Mandinka, Bambara, and I mean, like across the region you can speak it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still that's the proverb. You're correct.
Was this outside your Fulbright experience?
Yeah, so Fulbright wasn't my first time in Africa. My first time in Africa, I was sponsored by the U.S. Department of State as a Gilman Scholar. And the State Department sponsored me to study at the University of Ghana. So that was my first time in Africa in 2001.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I just kept going back.
Yeah. Are you excited for the Zulu name?
Yeah. I am so honored. I'm so scared that I won't be able to pronounce it correctly. So, and if you can speak up, it would be, you have to speak a little bit louder for me, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If you scroll down, there are girls' names, right? I think it's at the bottom of the document.
So tell us Americans about the Zulu people. We may not know. I don't want you to assume that we know a lot about Zulu.
You know what? The one fact is that Zulu is the most spoken African language in South Africa.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Then it's the most spoken, and then I think it's followed by English. Yeah, but most people do speak Zulu in South Africa. But then, yeah, just just international, well, you'll realize that most people, whenever they meet like a South African, there's always an assumption that someone is speaking Zulu. And we have about 11 official languages. I think I did share that with you, right? We have about 11 official languages, and those are just official languages. But we do have other languages that are not official, right?
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. And yeah, tell me about the thing. You said it's black. I mean, it's African American. Everyone is allowed to say black. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't think that's offensive. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you finish the Real Housewife of Johannesburg?
No, but I'm on the last season. I love that show. Oh my gosh, I love. Those women are crazy, and I love it. It's my.
I've never watched it.
Well,
you'll be shocked.
I love this show. It's on Hulu, I think, Amazon or Hulu. I don't know, but I love the show. I like oh my goodness, what's her name? She's so beautiful.
You see,
I have to get her name for you.
If I did watch it, then I would have helped you. I've never watched it.
Can you tell your followers in South Africa that the Real Housewives of Johannesburg has a really big following here in America? And I think they are so funny, and some of them are. It's a one lady. I mean, she's really controversial, but I don't know how controversial you want to get right now. Like if we're getting really serious, but the white lady, oh, I don't like her at all. I'm sorry. I just think she went on the first season and she kept calling them you people, and I was like so offended. She just was saying you people and you people, and I was like, and then they told her that it's offensive to say you people, and she said it was like reverse racism, and oh my gosh, I just don't like her. I'm sorry, I just don't like her. But
in terms of how black people in South Africa deal with that kind of drama, did you think they handled it correctly, or was it well?
With her, with the reverse racism, and I think they were a lot nicer than I would have been to her. I don't think, especially when she it was like a mother and daughter. I don't remember the names, but there was a mother and daughter, and I don't know the white lady's names, but she offended the mother and her daughter stepped in, and then she stepped in with a finger, but she didn't hit her. And then the white lady went and hit her, and I was just like, if that was in America, that would have been like,
Yeah.
So I think the women were much more polite than, like, if you watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they fight. They actually fight. I know it's embarrassing, but yeah.
It does go physical.
Yeah. What's her name? I think she is so Brunette. She is so beautiful. Brunette Celimpilo. I'm not saying that correctly. I think she is just so beautiful, so classy. She handles herself well. I feel like if I was in South Africa, she would be my friend. We would be friends.
But in terms of how they articulate themselves, do they sound American?
What do you mean sound American? Like with the accent? No, it's more British English, but in terms of how their demeanor and their comportment, yeah.
How do they resemble black women in America?
Oh yes, they do. Okay. So you said sound like. So no, they sound more
British.
More British. But in terms of how they look, how their demeanor, their decorum, their comportment is so much similar to us African Americans. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. No, I think I should watch it, because I mean, this is embarrassing that I can't even fully engage in this conversation, because I don't know. I only watch Netflix.
Did you ever think Americans watch The Real Housewives of Johannesburg?
You know what? I was shocked when I got that message from you that you were watching. And I remember that, you know what? I've seen like that being advertised on our TV, but I've never watched an episode. This is wrong.
Is it wrong? It's the truth. I like it. I mean,
I won't put too much pressure on you, because I think the list is long, and maybe you'll wanna go through the names first. And maybe
not all of the names. There's too many names.
Yeah,
but maybe 2 or 3 will be okay.
Yeah, maybe understand the meaning first, because naming in the Zulu culture, for example, you know, you'll be shocked that a person can have more than 2 names. You know, yeah, it's allowed.
Whoa.
So meaning your mom can name you, father can name you, your grandmother can name you, father can name you. Have all that list of names. I wish I had more, 2 Zulu names. I have an English name that I don't recognize. It's there in my documents. I never use it, but I wish removed it earlier. But I think it's too late now, because I have so many. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to tell you, us African Americans, we also have multiple names. We have our birth names, but we also have our given names. So as children, we're given names. So my name is Nadira, but if you grew up with me, none of my family and friends, they rarely call me Nadira. They call me Nana. And so when I went to Ghana, I realized that Nana actually has a meaning in the Akan languages. And so what you'll learn is, here as African Americans, we say and do things, we may not know where these things, the meaning comes from, but you'll find similar given names in Africa, like Dudu, Babu.
Yeah.
But those won't be on legal documents. Do you understand?
Okay. Let me stop you right there. First of all, Tutu is my wife's name.
Oh, stop! Seriously?
Telling you. But the The full name is Tutuzile. It simply means the
See?
mother. Yeah.
I cannot, like, I don't even know what to say.
It, it means comforter.
Comforter?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But I think you must go through that list, and then maybe you can share it with your family, right? And maybe your people, maybe they can go through the list, and then they can name you, looking at the meaning and the name that really suits you.
if you will allow me, maybe not today, but I would really like to go through this list with my
Yeah.
mother and let my mother choose.
Yeah.
I think that would make me feel
Yeah.
better. Yeah. Because this is a long name, and then I would have to come back to you to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. So
You know what? I was sad I couldn't attend the Kwanzaa. The Kwanzaa, was it a Kwanzaa? Was it a festival, or it was just
a week, so it's mini festivals. So each day, okay. So do you guys know what Kwanzaa is in South Africa?
No.
Okay, so then we have to tell you. Okay, so Kwanzaa is a holiday created here in the US. It was created, I forget his name, by an Afrocentric man, and I can't remember his name, so please forgive me. But so Kwanzaa it's not a religious holiday. It's only cultural. So it doesn't conflict with your religion. So you can be Christian, you can be Muslim, you can be whatever. It's not religious. It's cultural. Okay. Yeah. And so on Kwanzaa, each day has a meaning, and it's supposed to get us African Americans more to remind us of our African roots. And so it's my favorite holiday because each day there's a meaning, and every day for 7 days you try to live by that meaning, whether it's purpose or self-determination or faith or family or collective economics. I mean, they're all things. And so you'll see there are many festivals during that week for us.
Yeah, I was going through that link that you sent me, and I think one it was a values that, or it was a day that was supposed to be observed, but I think it was Umoja, right?
Unity.
Yeah, unity. It's all about collectivization. So what's interesting about it is that um, yesterday you said, how do we say thank you in Zulu?
Yeah, I forgot. How do you say it?
Yeah, so we say siyabonga. But what's interesting about that is that when I say siyabonga, that's a plural form of it. You know, the singular form will be ngiyabonga, right? Yeah.
So which one do I say? I don't know.
So the one that I've been here, the one that I've been using here at Penn, I mean, including the professors here at Penn, we've agreed of teaching people to say siyabonga, the plural form, even though you're saying it to one person, because the Zulu culture doesn't see a person as an individual, but it sees a person as a member of a large group, right? So when I look at you, I don't just see you as Nadira, but I choose to observe. I know that you come from some. I choose to observe your family, the ones you live with, your entire DNA. So whenever I ask you, how are you? Meaning I can say Ninjani, Nadira, meaning how are you all? And then you can say Siya Pila, meaning we are all fine, even though I'm talking to you alone. So you are speaking on behalf of all those that you know, the one that you, I mean, all those that you cared for. So it's the Zulu culture is more of the group orientated. So we don't really see a person as an individual. Yeah. So that's why I think the umoja value of unity, and it's all about the collectivization. I really liked it. I was just sad I couldn't attend it.
It's okay. Yeah, that's all right. Well, you were there. Your spirit was there. As long as your intentions were there, you were there. You get the blessings. We believe that. Can you introduce yourself to my friends who come on? Because they may not. I see Jess is here. My sister logged on. Bizrat. I'm not sure if they're still there, but maybe when my friends come on, they don't know who you are.
Yeah. My name is Celimpilo Ndebele, South Africa. I'm a visiting scholar here at the United States of America. I'm teaching Zulu language here at the University of Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Very cool. And it's so good to meet you.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed the presentation we did at
the high
Boys
school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was too beautiful. I think we needed more time. There's an event that I want to invite you at. It's gonna happen around April. It's gonna be more cultural as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'll send you more details.
Okay.
You'll get to meet the teachers from the Philippines.
Wow. Oh, it's very cool.
and all those countries, Vietnam. Yeah, you get to meet them as well. And I'm glad we're having this conversation. And it's, I think here in America, it's a Black History Month.
Yes. Yes. Very, 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 very proud. I am very proud to be African American.
Yeah. One question I had for you regarding the month. What's our role as Black people in this month? How are we supposed to observe this? What are we supposed to be doing?
You can do many things, but me personally, is to remind ourselves that our ancestors made a lot of contributions to the development and creation and evolution of the United States. So often, African Americans are presented in the media in such negative ways that we're lazy, that we don't want to work, that we're criminals, that, I mean, there's so many negative images about us. When and during Black History Month, we oftentimes share evidence of our contributions to the United States, our inventions, our innovations, our cultural contributions, historic contributions. Is to remind us, because, you know, indoctrination is not just towards other people, it's also ingrained in us. And sometimes we believe that we haven't done anything. Sometimes we also look at other African Americans the same way the media has portrayed us. And so during Black History Month, we talk about Black authors, Black teachers, Black inventors, all of our contributions to remind ourselves that that Black history is American history, that we have done a lot to contribute to the development of our country. That's what the purpose is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to a friend at GSE here at Penn, and you know, she gave me like a list of inventions that were invented by Black people, and it seems like the conversation just ends there, right? So there's no injustice that is like really happening in terms of like, okay, so who invented this, and then it just like it feels like you know, it's a life goes on, and I don't know if I'm getting it right, but yeah, it's really tricky. For example, I mean, we were talking about not that I drink Jack Daniels. That's an alcohol. That's a liquor, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a Black person behind that.
Yeah. And he got no credit for hundreds of years. So Jack Daniels is a brand that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, even billions even.
Yeah.
But research has shown that his slave, the slave of Jack Daniels, actually was the one who invented the liquor, and he sold it. And if so, what you will see here is there will be industries here in America where you will see no black people in it. And a lot of my foreign friends will say, well, why aren't black people in these industries? But they don't realize it's because we've been prohibited, cut out, discriminated against. And so you have direct discrimination, and then you have default or de facto discrimination. So it's not a lack of our contributions. It just shows you the racism that's here in America. And Uncle Nearest is the inventor of the Jack Daniel's liquor, and he got no credit for it for hundreds of years. So I'm glad they had the Uncle Nearest brand that's out now.
I think you did share a list. Was it on LinkedIn?
It was a list of black inventors: the comb, the iron rod, the iron board. I mean, these are things that we never received credit for. The White House. You went to the White House. Yeah. Do you know who built the White House? Slaves, black African American slaves built the White House. And when Michelle Obama she said she does not, I don't remember the exact quote, but she said she knows she woke up in the house built by slaves. Oh, wow. By enslaved Africans built the White House. And it's the truth.
Yeah. That's scary because you know what? I'm not being controversial.
No, you can be controversial. I don't mind.
The group that I did a talk with, and I was sharing this to my wife, that I think I was the only black person. Oh. And how do I, you know? But you know what? I kept it moving because I'm from South Africa. I'm gonna go in there and experience the White House, you know, and just observe. And I did a lot of learning. I realized when I saw Michelle Obama's portrait.
I saw your picture. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I said? I was like I stood by Michelle's portrait for a long time, and it was sad that I don't know. Maybe in our lifetime, it might be the last time that we see a black person in that house. Hopefully, you know, Deputy President Kamala Harrison. I don't know. I really hope. I don't know. I'm not a political analyst. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know what are the chances that she'll make it, you know, in that house. Because, I mean, I saw Michelle Obama's portrait first, and then, yeah, and I like how they placed them. It's not like they were hidden. Yeah, and I did look for Trump's portrait, and I couldn't see it. But, you know, it was a good experience. It was a good experience. Yeah, but, you know, I didn't know. And the slaves, did they build this house like about the first structure, or the structure that the renovated structure?
No, they built it from scratch. They built it. It was built by our labor for free. We never got paid for building the White House, building the roads around the White House, building the train. If you took the train to Washington, D.C., it was enslaved Africans who built the trains, who worked on them for free. Think about, see, these are the things maybe that we don't think about. Excuse me. This is why Black History Month is important. You took the train. Maybe, presumably you took the train to DC.
I took the mega pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you took the train, for instance, I don't know if the roads, the trains, the White House, they were originally built with free labor, enslaved labor. But you don't think about that. Yeah. And then you have certain people come here and look at us African Americans as being lazy and this, that, and the third, while taking the roads that our ancestors built, by taking the trains that our ancestors built, received no compensation for. Even if you will find the major highways, the interstates were strategically built to run through Black towns, to destroy them. Because there's a law here called eminent domain, which means the government has the legal right to take your property and give you maybe some compensation. And so you will see the highways through the entire United States were strategically built to run through Black towns, to destroy them, to destroy their wealth, their property, their businesses, hotels, all of them. So the next time you are on an interstate highway, most likely they were built through Black communities to destroy them. And that's what you'll see is we will receive no compensation, so we stay poor every generation through policies like that.
And I was studying the American history, the urban poverty, for example, and what I realized was that with the white neighborhoods in America, you know, they had like this good service delivery, the standard, because yesterday we took a drive, then we went to around Drexel Hill in Havertown, and I started comparing West Philly and those areas, and then I realized that okay, now those places are owned by Black people, but initially they were owned by white people. So there's a tendency of white people moving out immediately when Black people, move in. Same, I've seen this in South Africa as well. And
but that's a symptom of the policy. They move out because of the redlining. Do you know what redlining is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So redlining is where the banks, the government policies and the banks will say they will only fund loans in certain neighborhoods. So housing loans, they will fund loans and they will have a red line around the neighborhoods, like literally, and they would fund white families and white businesses in those neighborhoods to purchase property, to have loans, to buy businesses, and so forth. And then it could be literally across the street. And I've seen this in South Africa as well, but I'm not sure what it's called. And you can literally cross the street and cross the red line, and the banks won't fund you. And so what you will see is the red line was traditionally white neighborhoods, and the other side of the red lines were Black neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So that's why they're poor. Yeah.
There's a picture that I'll share with you. It was taken by this famous journalist. So I think he was using a drone. So what he captured, I think this was in Western Cape, around Cape Town.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And you saw one, and it was just.
Yeah.
I saw it.
The extreme wealth and the extreme poor, and it was divided by this one like perfect straight line.
Yeah.
And then if you go to Johannesburg, you will notice there's a place called Hillbrow and Houghton. So Hillbrow is like again, it's the standard of living. It's one of the poorest areas, like drugs and all that. And then just across the street, there's a place called Houghton, and Nelson Mandela's house is also in that area. There's also Sandton and Alexandra. It's also a perfect line, extreme rich and extreme poor. So I was curious about this process of gentrification. I think I seen it around University City. I don't know if it's to better the lives of Black people or it's to kick out Black people. I don't understand it.
So what is gentrification? Is your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I've seen it more around like university. I know that they rebuilding the structures, and it's becoming nice. But I'm not sure if they're really improving the lives of Black people in that that area, or really black people are being like kicked out to move away so that they can do their business?
So gentrification is complicated. So I'm going to read the definition. It says the process whereby the character of poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process. So how it works this is all government policies that jumpstart gentrification. So what you see is white people moving into traditionally black neighborhoods. But that isn't how it starts. It starts with a government policy of like urban renewal. You'll hear terms like urban renewal and blight, you'll hear these terms. And so it's where the government gives tax credits. They give money and tax credits to developers to develop in poor neighborhoods to help these neighborhoods develop. The problem is the money isn't given to the people who who already live there. They can't afford. You have to qualify for the subsidies, the funding. In order to receive funding from the government, you have to qualify. But the people who are struggling there, who are already there, typically don't qualify.
Yeah.
So who qualifies are wealthier people who can move in. And that's how you have the destabilization. And so then you have wealthier people who are typically white moving into poor neighborhoods because the land is cheaper. They can have more bang for their buck and they get government subsidies.
Yeah.
Now, what you'll have is that the price of the housing becomes more expensive. And then you'll have people who have been living there forever can no longer afford to live there anymore. And that's what you're seeing in West Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's really complicated, and because I observe a lot,
That's good. You should.
With the history, the Black History Month, what I like about it, in South Africa we have a Youth Month, and that's the month of June, and we also have a Women's Month, and that's August. But I wish we also had like something, maybe a month where we really recognized the struggles of Black people, or just the history of Black people, because I think with the June month being reduced to be the month of the youth, it's really because it recognizes the Soweto uprising in South Africa, and I think, and this is just my opinion, I think it had nothing to do with apartheid as a policy at large, but it had to do with the apartheid policy, which was the Bantu education, the education that was designed, especially for Black people. And so in that month, we saw the youth, the students, revolting against the apartheid regime, because they didn't want to do, they didn't want to learn, using the African, which was the white language. So I feel like that history, we can't really reduce the whole history of Black people to a youth month. You get what I mean? So if you look at August, for example, I think it's 9 August, if I'm not mistaken. Women in South Africa, they participated in this big march, where they also tried to fight against the passport. But I feel like the whole history of Black people, where we come from, that history is not addressed. That's why I was like really interested on it's the charter schools. Is it again American charter schools?
We have charter schools.
Yeah, those schools, they specifically teach the Black history, right?
No. Charter schools is just a structure of how the school is operated. It's they all teach Black history in the Philadelphia. I don't know about every school district in America, but in Philadelphia they all teach it. But I wanted to ask you, do the people in South Africa know how the African Americans here also fought to end apartheid in South Africa?
Oh yes, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it, do they
Yeah,
know? Because we,
you know what they know because I also teach history in South Africa. Yeah,
okay.
so one point that I can never miss is the fact that the, the fall of apartheid regime in South Africa. Although yes, Black people in South Africa were fighting, but it had to do with also the protests, outside, like the Africans in diaspora who participated. Though, I mean, like USA and London, there were big protests. Everyone was like really against it, even though I can't really get into the details why. Probably if the fall of Soviet Union did not happen, I'm not sure how long apartheid would have lasted, because even with our political activists, most of them, they were here in the United States. I met a lady at GSE who's she's a big fan of Miriam Makeba. She was also exiled here in United States, and she got married to, was it Stokely Michaels? He was the leader.
Oh, Stokely Carmichael, yeah.
But he was the leader of the Black Panther.
Absolutely.
Leader.
It was just so that, I mean, I just, it's also Black History Month, so we should say it.
Yeah.
So like there were huge protests on university campuses. It was really the Black students here in the US, across the US, who protested and lobbied our government to divest from businesses and the government of South Africa unless they ended apartheid. And they were, I mean, it was a big deal here. The protests of Black students and the universities to make their universities divest from pension funds, from business interests in South Africa. And then the Black students lobbied the Black legislatures here. So we have something called the Black Caucus, which is a caucus of Black congressmen and so forth, and women. And they rallied together and forced our government to divest from their business interests from South Africa unless they stay ended apartheid. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, the fall of apartheid, it's not just, we can't give credit to only South Africans. It has to do with the Africans in the diaspora as well, who participated in putting pressure in the apartheid regime. Yeah, beautiful history.
Yeah.
I liked your question regarding the entertainment. I didn't know. I'll be honest with you. I know we call it gumboot dance. So you have like people wearing overalls and they're wearing boots, and the whole attire, it's that of a mine worker. You know what I mean? So this is a dance that really started. I had no idea that in America there's what is called stepping.
Yes. Did you see the video I sent you? The first guy who came out, he did the kicks like the Zulu. Did you see his kick?
Yeah.
It was very influenced by, I think it's Zulu, but is that like the kicks of the dance. Is that Zulu or is that
Yeah,
just South
that's
Africa?
Zulu. That's Zulu.
You saw it. The first guy that came out, he did that high kick that truly, I think, resembles the Zulu,
Yeah,
that famous
yeah,
kicking.
yeah. And then we just in that setting, again in the mind entertainment, because that was the dance that was initiated in the mines in Gauteng. All these immigrant miners going to Gauteng to mine for gold. So that was their entertainment. That's what they did, just and then there's also music that also there's a whole genre that started in the mines again. I think in America it's more of like a cappella, singing without instruments. But because it was only men in those mines, and then some of the men had to to sing high pitched voices, because there were no women to fill those roles. And then the genre that was born in that context was called Atami, I think. Yes, it is Atami. But can you click now? You can't click, right?
Can't click yet. I'm sorry. That's not a
Yeah,
can't click yet. I'll work on it. I'm sorry.
yeah, it was, but Lady Smith Black Mambazo, right?
Sorry?
Lady Smith Black Mambazo.
I don't think I know that right now.
Also, I'll send you a link and just listen to their music. Okay, and then there was also a language that was yeah, because I think did I ask you about Ebonics?
Oh, okay. So Ebonics is kind of the derogatory term. We don't usually say Ebonics anymore. It's African American Vernacular English is the proper way to say it. But sure, you can ask me. I want you to be able to ask me. You don't have to just be polite.
Okay.
One of my passions is to really help to bring people together, Black people together, by demystifying misconceptions about each other. So if we don't talk about the things people really are thinking about us, then I'm not helping them to understand how the true
Yeah,
history.
yeah,
So please feel free to ask me the tough questions.
yeah,
You won't hurt my feelings.
yeah. So the language that was born in those mines, it was called Fanakalo.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand it today, but what I know about it is that it's a mixture of African languages, mostly Zulu and English, a bit of and then it's not I think the linguistic people who studied linguistic will they will be against how the words are pronounced or the structure of the sentence, but for a regular person it doesn't really, because I mean a language is meant for communication, right? In South Africa there are words that you can't say because they are that of African American vernacular, because maybe they don't conform to the British rule, the Webster Dictionary, for example. Uh, in an English classroom in South Africa, you can't say ain't. I am not. I is it ain't?
Yeah, ain't. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
so they'll rather correct you to say I am not. You
Yeah.
can't say. So it's that language. But with the Fanakalo, I'm not sure if it's dying out, but that was also another language that was also formed. So the African American vernacular, is it I haven't read much about it. Is it in a process of being like recognized as a
Yes.
language?
Thank God. So yeah, so this is very important. Even a language that emerged from minds. Great. Thank you, Miss Darkaberry. What African American vernacular English is beginning to be recognized as a real version of American English. And so what happened was that when the enslaved Africans arrived in the U.S., they were forbidden from speaking their native languages. Number one, they learned English the way they heard it, as it was spoken. They didn't have any TOEFL exams. There were no foreign language teachers like you. There were no, classes to learn, the writing. No, our ancestors were brought to America to work, and they had no choice. So you were put around people who spoke other languages, other African languages. You weren't allowed to be around the person who spoke your language, because they were afraid you would revolt, you would, run away or whatever, right? And so you were brought around people who spoke other Africans who spoke, I don't know, other languages. And then you had the Europeans, the British, who they also have different vernaculars, British and French. I learned French, and if you go to southern France, you will hear that southern twang that you hear in the South. They speak French with a drawl, like je suis allé, blah, blah, blah. And it sounds very different from like Parisian French. And so what happened is you have all these different factors coming in. You have no time to learn the language. You have to work, or you'll die or get killed. Then you have other African languages, and you have to find a way to communicate with other people. And then you have to learn the white man's language. And you understand a lot of the slaves were brought here as children so that they can get, the white slave owners can get the longest use out of them. Do you understand? And so that's how African American vernacular English was invented. I think it's phenomenal. So the way the media portrays us is that we don't speak proper English, which Americans, we don't speak proper English anyway. We don't, right? So what is proper English, number one? But anyway, we are portrayed as being unintelligent, stupid, so forth. But at the same time, we created this new version of English from just survival, okay? And every year, what people don't understand, and you're a linguist, you speak more languages than I do. I don't know. What you'll understand is the way that African American vernacular English is spoken, we can tell things about you, about each other. So by the way, your accent, by your vocabulary, we can tell where you're from, and we can tell about how old you are, your generation. You would never know this. And so, for instance, Baltimore has a very, very distinct accent. And they say chew. Everything is like chew. I want chew. It's all chew and chew. And I don't know. I don't speak it that that way. And then you have certain vocabulary terms that expire with the generation. So by the way you speak it, we know things about you. We can tell where you're from, how old you are, and maybe a little bit more about your regional culture. In every generation, we invent this language.
Yeah.
So there are terms today that my son speaks of African American vernacular English. I don't know what he's saying. And there are terms that my parents spoke that we don't say anymore. Like, you don't hear people saying you jive turkey anymore. You know, it's kind of an expired word, but it's something that was used when my mom was during my mom's generation. So
wow, that's really interesting. I like that the African American family, in terms of the values, just the family dynamics, it resembles that of a South African family a lot. There are a lot of things that you can't do as a black person, and the white person, can easily get away with them. But yeah, that's really interesting. But what I wished, with the people that I've met here, there's this one lady who I think, okay, I was working with a friend, uh, from South Africa. They're from Georgia. So they came to visit, right? And we were speaking Zulu. And this gentleman asked, oh, what are you guys saying? And
Nosy.
yeah, so his question, what he wanted to know, which language are we speaking? And then he said, we're speaking African,
Oh,
you know.
no. Sorry. Oh, no. It's embarrassing. Oh, no.
Yeah, I think it's just different generations. We all have those people. Even in South Africa, we have those people who are, ignorant. Here in America, there are people who are also ignorant. People who think that Africa is a country, for example. Another lady asked me, from.
She said what?
She said, where's your accent from? And I said, it's from South Africa. That's my accent. It's it's a it's colonized English that I speak. I speak English the way I think, in my mind, because I think in Zulu. So she's like, where's your accent from? It's from South Africa. It's a language called Zulu. She said, oh, South Africa. And she says, which part of Nigeria is South Africa?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm so embarrassed for her.
I had to teach her that, no. Africa is a continent. And within that continent, found in south of Africa. These I have a lot of questions, but
okay,
it's already been an hour.
Yeah,
so
for sure. We have to do this again.
Yeah, we can't really finish all the questions, but because it's a Black History Month. I'm not sure if you have questions, but I have one more question.
No, go for it. Yeah, what's your question?
Okay, and then my question, it is a bit controversial. It's not controversial for you, but I think you can answer.
Okay.
I think this has been like it bothered me for a while, because we went to Boys Latin. You did the presentation. I'm not sure if this question you asked it after my presentation or it was in the middle, but you said to the boys, raise up your hand if you know someone who has been killed because of gun violence. And what I realized at that moment is that the entire classroom, I'm not sure if you did realize that, the entire classroom, all the hands were up.
Yeah,
that disturbed me. I don't know lie.
Why did it disturb you? Is that uncommon in South Africa?
Yeah, for coming from South Africa, aware of the the gun shooting, and it's not. I'm not talking about crime. Crime is there are places in South Africa that I don't go to because there's crime.
Hey, Dudu, is that
that's
your
my
wife?
Yeah.
Hey, Dudu, we have the name. Dude, you have to tell her.
Yeah.
That's a name that we have here. African Americans use it. I know a few Dudus myself.
I don't know if you on that list, the one that I emailed you, but you'll go through that list.
I'll go through the list, yeah, for sure, yeah. I'm sorry. What was your question? I'm sorry.
So in South Africa, I have areas that I don't go to because there's crime, and that's me just trying to protect my young life, because I don't know, I don't want to be a victim. I need to be wise. So from South Africa. We are aware that there is, the gun violence and all that. But what was a surprise to me, I didn't know that it affected so many people.
Young people.
Yeah, in one sitting, because I think those were about boys, maybe 25. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, Nadir. Nadir's here. It's the male version of my name. Nadira. Yeah.
Hey, welcome. I think I'm asking the last question here. Yeah. I don't know. It did really, I don't know, but just the idea that so many, and those were young kids, right? And everyone, I don't know what the ratio is, but I feel like here in America, a lot of people are affected, especially by everyone knows someone who died because of gun violence.
So I didn't hear a question, but I can just comment if you would like.
Yeah, Jackie, please give me a comment, because I know you have like a story as well. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get into my personal story, but right now, but we have our internal conflicts among us, okay, that have been exacerbated by the access of guns. So before, when guns weren't so accessible, people would fight, but they would still live, okay? So then you have very young children who have access to guns. Now think about this. They don't have money. How are they buying guns? They don't make the guns. They don't manufacture the guns. In theory, they don't have money to buy these guns. But they're everywhere. How? How is this possible? Yeah. So then you want to, what I'm trying to get you to think about is the accessibility of guns.
Yeah.
It's so accessible that they're available for young people to kill each other. And it only takes a few seconds, right, for one's life to end forever. And young people don't always think about the long-term effects of the finality of gun violence. It's final for if one dies. And so what I want people in South Africa to understand is these guns are coming from somewhere. and the people who are being killed by guns, Black people, are not the ones who make the guns. They don't manufacture the guns. And oftentimes they don't even have the money to actually purchase the guns legally. So why then are these guns so accessible to children? Think about this.
Yeah.
And that tells you that somebody is funding these guns to be available for children to kill each other.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to understand.
Yeah.
Because these children who have guns, they don't have money. They don't make the guns. They don't transport the guns. Someone's doing it.
True.
So.
Yeah. No, that's really disturbing. But again, with the whole crime issue.
Hey, Mr. Banks.
In South Africa, the spotlight is not really. It's not like we don't have white people that commit crime, right? But it seems as if like the spotlight is always
on Black people. Yeah.
In South Africa.
For sure.
It's crime connected, but it seems like the spotlight is not there. But we'll expand on that.
The next time we can do this once a week for Black History Month.
Yeah,
I think
definitely do it, and hopefully I'll also get questions from people in South Africa.
Yeah.
So that they can ask you questions. Maybe.
And I want African Americans to ask you questions.
Yeah, but firstly they must pronounce my name correctly.
Oh my God, I don't think I can pronounce your name correctly. It's so much pressure. I would fail your class. Celimpilo.
Oh.
No, sorry. Wait, Celimpilo. Is that right?
There's
A little bit.
the click is on the first letter.
Oh,
And, yeah, that's the only.
Celimpilo. That one? But where do I click at?
No, it's not a C.
Oh, what is
Yeah,
it?
it's a. So
Celimpilo.
tip
Celimpilo?
behind your teeth, upper teeth. Yeah. That's not
But then how do you say the rest?
Celim. You know what?
I'm embarrassed.
It will take time. It will take time. It will take
Okay,
time.
before you leave, I will say your name properly. I promise it's my job.
Yeah.
Please, God, please help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dudu's my new friend. I love it. Dudu, we're sisters because I love your name already. See, I learned that today. I never knew that's a name in South Africa.
Yeah. Tutuzile is yeah, it simply means the mother of comforters, the comforter.
We wouldn't know any of that. But I bet you go around 52nd Street, you'll meet a Dudu. I promise you.
Yeah. And I've met a lot of a lot of Lindas in America. And Linda in South Africa simply means the one who waits or wait.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a common name in South Africa. It is.
Well, I gotta get going, but this was so great, my Zulu teacher.
Yeah.
Let's schedule this again, and I also want Americans to learn about Zulu culture, South Africa in general, to help us understand as well. So I'm gonna have questions for you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay. No problem. How did you say the name of? How do you say thank you? Zagong.
Siyabonga.
One more time.
Siyabonga.
Siyabonga. I love it.
Siyabonga. You know, we give thanks. We are thankful.
Siyabonga. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll forward you the information about the school that I'll be doing a presentation in. It's going to happen around April, so we're just going to do a little bit of admin so I can understand their whole cultural event, and then I'll see. Then it will be beautiful to have you there. Then I can invite other Fulbright scholars as well, so they can come and share their culture with you. And then there's a guy that you need to meet. He's from Senegal. He speaks Wolof. He's also teaching Wolof here at Penn.
What?
Yeah, he also.
Amazing.
You say speak French.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to meet.
Not good French, but he'll understand me.
Senegal.
Yeah, I just came back from Senegal in December.
Okay. Definitely, you need to meet him. You need to meet.
Yeah, I think it's great. Does anyone teach Bambara?
Oh no.
Oh
no.
Okay.
We only have 3 or maybe 4. We have Swahili, we have Zulu, we have Wolof, we have Luganda. It's a language from Uganda.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's amazing.
We also have Arabic from the north, Egypt and Morocco and Tunisia.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, listen, you speak 8 languages. Here in America, we really only speak English, and I've tried to learn French and a little bit of Bambara, but don't overwhelm me. You already, it's too much. It's too much pressure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Have a great day.
Okay.
Siyabonga. And give me the date for the next meeting for us.
No problem.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.